You fool! What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap? Are you just a boulder that rolls down whatever hill it's on? No, even a boulder has more sense. Excuses won't help us! This trying! As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. But please consider this. This realm of darkness we are in is separate from the world from which you came. I mean that it would take a god to leave this place. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be. Are you prepared to die? Not as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet... there is no other choice. Do you recall your father's diary? He said you were a child who never cried nor laughed. I think I am the one to blame. I must have been asleep, but even then, I feel I was a part of you. I do not know how Rhea managed it, but she allowed me to exist inside of you. The truth is, I have always been with you. It is within you that I found my power yet again. The power of a goddess. The power of the progenitor god. My name is Sothis. By now, you must be well aware of what that means. I am the one who watches over Fodlan and the creatures dwelling there. I am Sothis, she who died and then returned. There is but one thing left to do to save us from this darkness of eternity. I must now use the power of a god. However, I lack a body of my own, and so I must relinquish all the power that I have to you. The time has come for you and I to join as one. And when that comes to pass, then I shall disappear. When I say disappear, I do not mean that all I am will be no more. My soul will with yours, and you and I will never be apart. But I will no longer have the chance to speak with you. I shall miss it. So long have I been on this path with you. Through you, I got to see and hear this world. I even got to chastise you from time to time. I may not have acted like a goddess, but it was certainly fun. For all that you have done, thank you. I'm glad that it was you to whom my fate was bound. Now, we must pray. For if we share this wish, our spirits too will join as one. Your wish is to return to the forest, stop the enemy, and rescue the little ones. No need for words. I know your heart as though it were my own. Your will and mine are now as one. Both sides of time are revealed to you, and you alone. You know I am the beginning. What shall you do?
That hair. And those eyes. You remind me of someone. What happened to you? The goddess. I see. Well, I'm happy for you. Your weapon is called the Sword of the Creator, after all. It's no wonder she looks favorably upon you. Just as it was with Saint Saros, no doubt. And just how will you use this new power, Professor? For us. I see. Tell me, if the world, and your students included, were to divide and go to war with each other, what would you do? In that scenario, each side would represent both the world and your students. Who would you? Professor? Have you fallen asleep? This must be a side effect of your recent changes. I can't just leave you here. I could try carrying you, but no, I had better call for Hubert.
In time's flow, see the glow of flames ever burning bright on the swift rivers drift, broken memories alight.
Professor, you must remain still. Everything is all right. There is no need to worry. Those who are trying to harm you are far away. How lovely it would be for this moment to last forever. I wish I could hold on to this time we have stolen, that you and I could create a world without end. I have heard whispers of what happened to you. Your appearance. You have received power from the goddess. From the moment you took hold of the Sword of the Creator, I prayed that one day the radiant power of Sothis, which bathes Fodlan in its celestial light, might reside within you. But you are so much more than the light. You are my... Close your eyes, dear one. Sleep just a while longer. I will be watching over you. Always. Always and forever.
Rhea, please, talk to me. What are you hiding? What is the meaning of how that one looks? It is almost as though...
As I said, there is nothing of which to speak. For now. At the end of this month...
I read Gerald's diary. I happened upon it in his room.
What?
In it, he stated the reason for his departure. The baby, thought to have died in the fire, has returned to us. Gerald realized that you had done something to the child and decided to flee. What did you do to that baby, Rhea? Nothing questionable, I should hope.
Sothis, enough. They will be here shortly. No more, I beg of you. I will take our dear professor to the Holy Tomb. There, I should be able to see our dearest wishes to fruition. When I was young, I heard her voice there. I'm sure of it. You may enter. I have been awaiting your arrival, Professor. Now that you have received sacred power from the goddess, there is somewhere you must pay a visit to at once. You must go to the Holy Tomb so that you may receive a divine revelation from the goddess.
The Holy Tomb is where the goddess sleeps. This monastery was originally built for the purpose of protecting that hallowed temple.
Only a select few know of it, but there is a legend about Seiros and the Holy Tomb. Saint Seiros, the first soul to be gifted power from the goddess, received her revelation there. She was told that it was her sacred duty to save the people of Fodlan, and that she must use her power wisely in order to lead them. The words that were handed down to Seiros from the goddess will likely fall upon your ears as well.
Prepare yourself to go at once. There may you find out why you were blessed with such power.
There will be a ceremony at the Holy Tomb. It is then that you will receive the goddess's revelation. You may share the mission with your students. It is said that when Seiros received the revelation, she had holy warriors by her side protecting her. Your students, who have followed you and fought alongside you through the darkest of times, are well suited to stand by you for the ceremony. Of course, as the leader of the Church of Seiros, I will be by your side as well. The occasion is too significant to be missed. Even if something were to happen, I am more than capable of protecting myself.
Much has changed, but your duty has not wavered. Steel your mind for the ceremony and prepare your students well.
Professor, will you join me? There's something I must do. It will take a few days, but I promise we'll be back in time for the ceremony at the Holy Tomb. It's meant to be a secret, but I'm going to Enbar, the Imperial capital. There is something I must do there. Thank you, my teacher. Father, forgive me for asking this of you. I know how the burden of the throne weighs heavily on you, and so...
There is no need to apologize, Edelgard. You must know that I do not have much time left in this world. The time has come.
Thank you, Father. Now, to complete the Imperial succession, you must relinquish your crown here in the throne room. The Archbishop of the Church of Seiros would normally act as witness, but my professor will fill that role instead.
Edelgard.
From this day forward, the weight of the Empire's future shall rest upon my shoulders. All that I do will be for the benefit of the people of Fodlan.
Edelgard von Hresvelg, the crown is yours. By the covenant between the red blood and the white sword, and by the double-headed eagle upon your head, I hereby pronounce you the new Emperor. Are you prepared to take those responsibilities as your own?
In accordance with the ancient covenant, and in keeping with the Hresvelg legacy, I swear that upon this throne, I shall use my reign to lead Fodlan to a new dawn and achieve peace for all.
The Imperial succession is complete. My daughter, I regret that I could not do more for you. When you were stolen away to the kingdom, when the Prime Minister did those horrible things, I could only watch in horror.
I understand, Mother. In those dark times, your eyes and your fists were my salvation. Within your eyes, I saw true care. and upon your fists, clenched tight with indignity, I saw the blood that dripped and fell. Even as I bled, I felt that you too must also be bleeding.
Your Majesty, you must not leave your sleeping chambers in your condition. Ah, Edelgard. I did not expect to find your Highness here.
Prime Minister, you have misspoken. I am no longer your Highness, but rather your Majesty.
Impossible!
It is true. Edelgard is the new Emperor of the Adrestian Empire. We will summon the officials and prepare an ordinance at once, and you, Prime Minister.
Are dismissed. It will be some time before you are allowed to make contact with the outside world again.
No! How can this be? Understood, Your Majesty.
Edelgard, my dear El, I leave the fate of Fodlan in your capable hands.
Father. Thank you for staying by my side, Professor. Now that I'm the Emperor, it's time to grasp my destiny. After the ceremony at the Holy Tomb, I must return to Enbar. This may be the last we see of each other. We are out of time, my teacher. Everyone is waiting for us. We must go.
Are you surprised, Professor? This is the Holy Tomb.
To think that there was such a vast space beneath the monastery all this time. It's hard to imagine that any of these enormous contraptions are of this world.
This is where the goddess who created this world was laid to rest, along with her children. It is said that our creator, the goddess Sothis, sat upon this very throne. Professor, do you recognize this throne? So long. I have waited so very long for this. Sit upon the throne. I have no doubt you will be gifted a revelation from the goddess. Well?
It was supposed to be but a step away. What could possibly be missing? Stop right there!
Don't move, any of you. If you move, your lives will be forfeit. Thank you ever so much for guiding us this far. The Imperial Army will now take possession of everything in the Holy Tomb.
What's the Imperial Army doing here?
Wait, does he work for the Flame Emperor?
So the Flame Emperor is connected to the Empire. I never thought that possible.
Edelgard, did you know about this?
Yes. In fact, I gave the order. I am the Flame Emperor.
I guess that's the end of play at school, Lady Edelgard. I mean, Your Majesty. Get to work, everyone. The crest stones belong to us now. And take those filthy bones, too.
Insolence! You will atone for the sin of trampling on this holy resting place. Professor, destroy these traitors who dare dishonor our creator!
Wait, what's the meaning of this, Edelgard?
You made use of us? Why?
I'm sorry, my teacher. I cut this path, and now I must follow it. My friends, I ask that all of you stay back. It is not my intention to fight you. By order of the Adrestian Emperor, Edelgard von Hresvelg, I command you to collect the crest stones. If anyone attempts to stop us, kill them.
You have disappointed me, Edelgard. To think that a descendant of House Hresvelg would dare betray the Holy Church.
So, it is my teacher who stands in my way. I always knew it would come to this.
Professor, kill Edelgards. She is a danger to all of Fodlan. Such a rebellious heart cannot be allowed to keep beating. You. How dare you?
My teacher, thank you. But are you certain that... No. Now isn't the time for discussion.
Words cannot properly express my gratitude, Professor.
So, this is the choice you have made. You are just another failure. Your presence soils this holy tomb and disgraces my brethren. I will not allow one who would lend our enemies strength to wield the power of the goddess Sothis. I have passed judgment, and now I shall rip your chest open and take back your heart myself!
That must be the Immaculate One.
Yes. The monsters that have controlled Fodlan in secret for far too long. Rhea is their leader.
There's no time to waste. Your Majesty, Professor, we must escape while we can.
We somehow managed to escape.
This is one of the Imperial Army's provisional camps. Here we can organize our forces.
Before we go any further, I want all of you to really ask yourselves if you're certain you wish to join us. As expected, Flayn has chosen to leave our ranks.
When I saw our professor running off, I ran about as fast as I could to catch up.
Caspar, death finds those who run without thinking. You gave no thought to the war fog. My grandfather was the leader of Brigid, and I hope for us to be allies with the Empire. I will be staying.
Was this a good idea? Did I make the right choice? Oh, but my family is part of the Empire, and our professor is here.
You're fine here with us, Bernie. Though it's true certain houses were against the Imperial Princess.
I assume you are referring to my family. I must believe that the conclusion I came to was the correct one. You are the Emperor now. I am the only one left who is qualified to guide you at this point.
I'm only here because I know it would be troublesome to stand against you.
I'm not just here for you, Adi. I'm here to follow our dear professor. Of course, I don't have any territory to offer, so Hubie may not even want me here.
The greater our numbers, the better. Your reasons for being here are of no consequence.
I think I understand where you're coming from. But now, I wish to hear of your resolve. Like you, I have risen to meet my destiny. I cut this path, and I will see it through to the end. Following me is akin to pointing a sword at the goddess herself. One misstep, and we fall to our ruin. You have now witnessed the Archbishop's true self. She is a cruel beast. Those who rule this world use that beast's power to fabricate miracles, all to control those who blindly believe in the goddess. They conceal the truth and force their lies on the nobility. They mercilessly annihilate anyone who defies them. I know this because I have lived it. After what you have seen, is there any room for doubt? The Church of Seiros has great influence and power. Their control over the lords of the kingdom and the alliance is nearly absolute. We are the only ones who can stop this indomitable enemy that has plagued our world for ages. We fight for humanity, for all of Fodlan. If you dare walk this path with me, take your first step. It's now or never. Thank you, my friends. We are the true face of the Empire, and we will triumph!
That was incredible, Lady Edelgard.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm relieved. They really chose to follow me. I was resolved to move forward alone if I had to. But in my heart, I hoped it wouldn't come to that.
So long as I am here, you will never be alone. Please do not forget that. And it would seem that the Professor also has a key role to play in this.
You're right. Now, I must speak with our dear teacher. Please, make preparations. The messenger should be here shortly.
Consider it done.
Professor, may I speak with you? I appreciate it. I'm just anxious. It feels like the weight of this burden is crushing me. At this very moment, on my orders, I'm starting a war. An army far larger than the one that attacked the Holy Tomb last month will soon be locked in battle. Long-devised strategies are unfolding across Fodlan. Leaders are deciding their loyalties and preparing to fight. So many generals and soldiers will die. It's inevitable that civilians will get caught up in the chaos as well. There will be countless casualties. With a single command, the flames of war will rage across all corners of this realm. And I am the one who is giving the order. No, there is no turning back now. No matter how much blood flows, I will not relent. We must break the bonds that the depraved church has placed on Fodlan. These sacrifices will allow us to create a future where we never need sacrifice again. It may seem contradictory, but it's the only way. Listen to me. I made up my mind long ago. Yet here I am, seeking your approval. Tell me the truth, my teacher. Are you happy with your decision to stay by my side? Unlike me, you can still walk away from all of this. This path leads to the death of the Archbishop and the servants of the Church. Can you live with that? I never thought... I'm sorry, it was a foolish question. I believe in you, Professor. And you believed in me. With that knowledge, I have the strength to keep fighting. Let's go. There's something I need to say to Hubert.
Your Majesty, the latest report indicates that our main army is advancing as planned. Also, the preparations for your manifesto are almost complete.
We will be distributing our manifesto to every lord within Fodlan. We will expose the dark side of the Church of Seiros and the foul practices of the nobles from the Kingdom and the Alliance. We will force the people of Fodlan to open their eyes and relinquish any remaining conviction to unite against the Empire. Certain nobles have already offered us their support.
Yes, there are other nobles who oppose the Church. We will condemn those who deserve condemnation, and forgive those who deserve forgiveness. We have already purged some of the Imperial nobles who are morally rotten, my father among them. How unfortunate.
And soon we will invade and conquer Garreg Mach. Our main army has already departed the Imperial capital. They will arrive at the monastery in 2 weeks' time. There we will join forces with them. As for us, I'd like your opinion on how we should be positioned within the army.
Your Majesty intends to fight alongside the Professor, correct? In that case, you will not be incorporated into the Empire main army. Your squad can move freely about the battlefield under supervision of the Imperial forces. That would be most prudent.
Now that I'm the Emperor, we can't let it slip that I'm following your command in battle, Professor.
I fully object to the notion of you fighting on the front lines.
Hubert, we've already discussed this.
My apologies. I overstepped.
Now that the details are settled, all that's left is to come up with ourselves. In honor of our time at the Academy, how about we call ourselves the Black Eagle Strike Force? I'm so happy you feel that way. I must confess that I spent all night thinking about it. I'll leave it to you to prepare the Black Eagle Strike Force for departure. We will soon arrive at Garrigmog Monastery. Forcing a surrender here is extremely significant, both strategically and symbolically. Of course, this is personal as well. This is where we all came together to learn and grow. I have no intention of yielding to our former classmates, so I ask that you prepare yourselves for anything.
I'm not thinking about friends right now, and I'm certainly not prepared.
Damn it, don't go around saying things that lower morale before we even get started. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's fight.
I have nothing to lose aside from my friends who are here with me. Does that answer satisfy you?
I have been ready for this since leaving my land of home. I will fight and win.
How can you prepare to fight? Maybe I can prepare.
There is no reason that I should not be prepared. It is my duty to stand up and battle.
Thank you all. Now, let's talk strategy.
As the raiding force, we will attack the area nearest to the monastery. The Knights of Seros certainly won't stand down after they catch sight of Her Majesty and the Professor. At the same time, the remaining areas will be surrounded, annihilated by the main army. In other words, we are the decoy that must suppress the enemy's most elite soldiers.
We know more about the area near the monastery than anyone else in the Imperial army. Still, we must prepare for the worst. It's possible we will have to face the Archbishop's true form, the Immaculate One. Fight with all you have, but don't be reckless. As promised, I will leave the command to our professor.
Naturally, with both Her Majesty and yourself on our side, defeat is impossible.
This will be our first battle as the Black Eagle Strike Force. All the more reason to prevail.
I will not allow another Red Canyon tragedy to happen here.
You will not be forgiven!
Professor, look out!
The castle is crumbling! We must escape!
Professor, take cover!
What is going on?